You're listening to episode number 65.
Welcome to the Inner Singer Podcast, providing tools and techniques to strengthen your inner singer, your beliefs, your confidence, your mindset. And now, your host for the Inner Singer Podcast, Mike Goodrich.
Well, hey there, everybody. This is Mike Goodrich, and thank you so much for joining me in the Inner Singer Podcast today, episode number 65. Wow, that sounds like a lot of episodes. That's pretty cool. I'm recording my third one in a row. I'm doing a batch of them today, and this is it's a silly day to be doing this out here, sitting in my office where I have to have the air conditioning off in Southern California. And I think I'm not sure it's 100 today, but it's been well over 100 the last 4 or 5 days in a row. But it feels pretty hot in here. But this is a crazy day for me to decide. I'm going to do like 3 or 4 podcasts without the air on. But what the heck? It's really fun, and I really enjoy it. And I had something that I wanted to chat about. Actually, I have a number of things I wanted to chat about. As you may or may not know, I carry my iPhone around, and I in my voice memo, I have ideas all the time, and I put the ideas in the voice memo, and then when I want to record a podcast or when I have a second to do it, I do it. And just turns out I have more than a second today, and making these a little bit shorter is actually helping me. Although the two that I've just done, I look down and I see they're 18 minutes apiece, which isn't that much shorter than usual. But just the idea of it's okay to do a short one, it gets me started a little bit easier. So what I want to talk about today, and first of all, I hope you're all doing great. I hope your inner singer is supporting you in all your endeavors and your singing endeavors, and that this podcast is helping you with any blocks or anything that kind of stands in your way. Singing is an iceberg, right? The tip of the iceberg is our outer singers, the part that they hear, the part that they see, but what goes on underneath is the majority of it. So hopefully I'm giving you a lot of tools and strategies, techniques, and things that you can do to help get your inner singer on your side and supporting you in all that you do. So anyway, having said that, I've never really done, that I can think of, an episode on what a lot of people talk about all the time. And I clearly, it's a hugely important topic. And that is this, it's gratitude. But I want to talk about it in a little different perspective today. Gratitude is, and they've done a lot of tests with this. They say one of the best things you can do in the morning is get up and write down 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for, and that's how you start your day. And that's, I think scientifically proven that really does some amazing, amazing things. And I have been teaching for years before you sing, to think of 3 things right before you sing that you really, really like about your voice, that you love about your voice, that you're really grateful for about your voice. And then afterwards, I train people to also think of 3 things that they really liked about the way they did that song. And it could be, I remembered the words, it could be anything, It doesn't matter, but it needs to be a positive way of looking at it. It needs to train the brain to go towards the glass is half full. Because to this day, I have so many students, even ones that I work on with this a lot. And their default, when they see me get really excited about something, if they come in a certain kind of mood, their default answer, their default response to no matter how well they do something is a negative one. And no matter how well they just did something, it's almost as if they're not present with that for any amount of time. They will not let themselves own it, hear it, feel it, or relish in it. They will go right to their default programming. It almost seems as if that's the default programming was what they were thinking about while they were singing, because it's almost as if they can't wait to say it. They'll see me excited about something, and rather than relish in it, enjoy it, own it, live with it, feel it, appreciate it, they will go right to, yeah, but I wish I could do that on this note. Or, yeah, but this, or yeah, but that, or yeah, but this didn't work, or boy, it should be working that well. I've been doing this so long, or I would think it would be a little better. I've been doing this, whatever. And that's a real default wiring that we absolutely have to take responsibility for, manage, and shift if we expect to make the progress that we want to make. It really does come down to some responsibility and ownership where we have to say, you know what? I'm really noticing I do that a lot. Or this guy's telling me, this guy meaning me, is telling me I do that a lot, and he says it's not a really, really good thing. And he's also really excited about what I just did. Maybe since I'm paying him this much money, I should actually do what he's asking me to do. And just keep my mouth closed. Don't say what I'm thinking out loud. And make myself shift directions. Even if you have to write something on a 3x5 card ahead of time. Say, I love this about my voice, I love this about my voice, and I love this about my voice. And train yourself that when you're finished singing, you look at that 3x5 card and you go right to that thing. Even if you feel like it's not true yet. Even if you feel like you're faking it, right? We've got to train ourselves to not go right to the negative, right to the thing that isn't working, and right to the thing that we're hanging on to as our story, or that's going to be our story. If we fight like crazy to keep telling that story, we're going to be able to keep telling it. You know, those high notes don't work, my this doesn't work, that doesn't work, whatever, I should be better than I am, or whatever, you know. Anyway, I'm getting off on a little tangent, but what I'm saying is, that's what I teach my people. That's what I teach my students. That's what I teach people in my program, is to begin to really train yourself, not in a Pollyanna way. I'm not talking woo-woo Pollyanna nonsense here. I'm talking about training your brain and your psychology and your mindset, setting your mind to focus in a certain way. Because, you know, by nature, human beings are really, their default wiring is to focus on the negative first. That's why everybody's so fascinated with news and awful movies, right? Because years and years and years ago, we had to be focused on what would save our life or what could kill us, right? A saber-toothed tiger jumping out. We had to know that that was around the corner. So we were very, very vigilant, and we were on guard all the time and very adrenal, because at any time that saber-toothed tiger could jump out and get us. If somebody had really good news for us, that really wasn't as important, because it wasn't necessarily going to save our life. So we got really trained to focus on the negative. Now we have to take dominion and take charge over that and begin to focus on what we want to focus on and the gratitude. And what I want to talk about today is a little different version of gratitude. Because what I want to do is I want to talk about the word appreciate and appreciation. Because appreciation is a very interesting word. And I got this. I've mentioned a fellow in a previous podcast. His name is Dan Sullivan, and he is a phenomenal coach to very, very high-level entrepreneurs. He's a really amazing, amazing guy. Now, I have never met him, and I've not coached personally with him at all. But I've read a lot of his stuff, listened to countless interviews with him, countless. And he has really got some amazing ideas, things that I really incorporate into my teaching and into my life. So I want to share this one with you. He talks about gratitude, but he talks about it this way. He talks about the word appreciation. Now, why does he talk about appreciation? Well, because it's very interesting. It's a little bit of a synonym for gratitude, right? You say, I'm really grateful for this, or I appreciate this. So you could say, I'm really grateful for my high notes, or I'm really grateful that my vibrato was so good in that song, or I'm really grateful that I found this song that sits right in the sweet spot of my voice, or I'm really grateful that I found this great teacher, or I'm really grateful that I found the Inner Singer podcast because it helps me so much. A little self-serving, right? But so you say, let's put appreciate in there. Well, I really appreciate my high notes. I'm so appreciative of my vibrato. I'm so appreciative of the Inner Singer podcast. I'm so appreciative of whatever, right? I appreciate that so much. How is that slightly different? Well, I'll tell you. It's different in that if you look up the word appreciate, you will find that it has 3 definitions. And if we hold these in our consciousness and our awareness, and when we appreciate something about our voice or about somebody else, when we express appreciation, we are doing 3 things. Now, when we appreciate, what are we doing? And I'm actually going to read. I've got this on my desktop. What is the first? Appreciate. Recognize the full worth of. Value, treasure, admire, respect. I appreciate this part of my voice. I appreciate this person. I appreciate this song. I appreciate this aspect of my singing. To be grateful for something. What's number 2? Understand a situation fully. Fully recognize the full importance or implications of. I fully understand this. I really appreciate my voice. I understand my voice. I really appreciate myself, my inner singer. I understand myself. I understand my inner singer. And the third I love. Rise in value or price. So, just like the home appreciated, the stock value appreciated, when we appreciate our voice, when we appreciate ourselves, when we appreciate our inner and our outer singer, we are actually raising the value of this in our eyes. Now, we're all infinitely valuable, right? So we can't really raise our intrinsic value, which is beyond measure anyway. But we certainly can raise our perception of our value. As a matter of fact, who said, it may have been John Assaraf, that you think your net worth is going to be a direct reflection of your self-worth, right? Well, everybody is beyond infinitely worthy, right? I mean, everybody is infinitely worthy. But we are not all expressing that. We are not all believing that. But as you appreciate yourself and your voice, you are not only recognizing your full worth and being grateful for, you are understanding and you are recognizing the full importance and implications of the magnificence of your voice, and you are raising the value in your perception of all these things. So, to me, appreciate and appreciation is gratitude on steroids. I mean, how else would we say it, right? It's 10xing gratitude. So I love gratitude. But let's bring this idea of appreciation in and really watch those 3 things just start to express themselves in us. And then begin to appreciate that. And then it's like a snowball going down a hill, right? It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and gains momentum as we appreciate our voice, which means we're grateful, and we understand it. It raises it in value. And as it's raised in value, we appreciate the fact that it's raising in value and it's more valuable to us, which means we're more grateful for it and we understand it on a deeper level, which raises the value yet again, and it just 10x's the whole experience. So I just wanted to share that with you. I think it's a really fun way to look at this. And not only fun, I think it's tremendously valuable if we start doing that, and if you start using the action step of begin to be appreciative of something about your voice before you sing. And immediately after, really, really, really watch yourself. Watch your behavior. Watch your habits. Become aware. Become mindful. And if you tend to go to a negative place after you sing, don't do that anymore, right? That's like the easiest thing to say. Just don't do that. Train yourself to go to a better, more supportive place. Like I say, even if you have to plan it ahead of time by writing 3 things that you appreciate about yourself, about your voice, about the way you sing. 3 things on a 3x5 card, even if they're general and generic. Try and get as specific as you can. But if you have to begin to train yourself and you don't know necessarily what song you're going to be singing, have 3 things that you're grateful for so you can begin to go in that direction before you sing and then immediately after. And even after you sing, if you read those 3 things that have been pre-planned and pre-written down on a 3x5 card, even if they're generic and pre-planned, just by saying them out loud and going to that place, you will begin to recognize new things because now you're going in that direction. Let's just say you finish singing and the 3 things that you've written down, I'm just winging this, but let's say the 3 things you've written down are I love my vibrato, I made it all the way through the song and remembered all the words, and my breathing was really great in that song. Or, I nailed the high note, or my low notes were really good. Whatever for you really normally works really well, use that as your 3 things. If you have to predetermine this, figure out in your voice what always works well. And I know, but don't go to this place. Well, nothing works well, Mike. No. It's time to shift that. Figure out 3 things that the best 3 things. Okay, get in the place where you recognize the best 3 things. You got to do this. Write them down, and then after whatever particular song, you say those sincerely. Don't phone it in. Oh, Mike said I should do that. So I really love my vibrato. No. Don't phone it in. Do it sincerely. And you will find that by focusing in that direction, new things will begin to emerge. You'll think of something that you might not have been able to think of first, but because you're priming the pump, you're priming the brain, you're taking in that direction, you begin to think of these things. Okay? And so that's hugely valuable. Because what it does is it interrupts the pattern of going to something negative about yourself. So you don't tell that story. You begin to write a new dialogue, create a new wiring and circuitry. Okay? So try that out. Try the appreciation out. And I hope you have a good time with this. I hope this has been valuable for you. And I will see you and hear you and talk to you in the next podcast. If you have a chance and you haven't already, I'd love it if you'd run on over to iTunes, give us a really honest, nice rating and review. It really helps spread the word because I'm really going to go a little bit more gung-ho on spreading the word on this because I think it's really necessary. And I get some great feedback. And I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm absolutely convinced, beyond the shadow of any doubt, that if we don't get our inner singer on our side, we are not going to have the voice and the fun and the joy that we really, really want out of this. Okay? I really, really know that to be true. Anyway, so I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Inner Singer Podcast. And please share this with all of your singing friends. And head on over to iTunes and subscribe. And if you found it of value, give us a nice rating. Thanks so much.